Hello and welcome to Triple Tap Gaming, a podcast about games, industry and culture. We are your hosts Azan,
Adeeb
and Izhar.
Right boys, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you doing, mate?
Well, fourth attempt.
Okay, do you know what? We're going to have to cut in some stuff now because of that.
Oh, yes.
We're definitely going to cut in some bloopers because this is like, this is the fourth week now we've been trying to do the intro.
Yeah, we just keep messing up. Every time.
Brilliant.
Okay.
But okay, yeah, other than our fourth attempt, good to hear we're doing okay. Anything interesting going on in your lives?
No, Lockdown 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
Nothing interesting is happening.
We love it.
Apart from playing games.
I might be
That's
getting
what
a
we're
dog
here for.
soon, which is interesting.
Really?
Wait, you have a
Yeah.
cat?
For real?
How are you
I
getting
haven't-
a dog?
Well, okay, it's not
Yeah.
exactly my dog. It's my brother's dog, and it's going to live between my brother's house. Well, I say my brother's house, this house, and my brother's girlfriend's house.
Oh, damn. That's sick.
So-
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have
Nice,
like a little.
nice.
The dog is called Nimki.
Nimki?
Wait,
Yeah.
like
After the Mishti, yeah, after the sweet, yeah, Nimki.
That's hilarious.
That's awesome.
Amazing.
So
You know
funny.
what? I have a friend, and their dog, who sadly passed away, was called Shondesh.
Oh, really? That's great.
Yeah.
These are all like Bengali sweet dish names, and it's,
Yes, to our non-Bengali listeners, they are highly calorific, extremely sugary,
high
sweets,
carb.
very high carb. It's probably the reason why there's the whole stereotype of Bengalis having a high risk of diabetes
Yeah.
at later age.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You should have called
That's the
it
way-
Aloo Papri Chaat. But
Aloo
sure.
papri chaat.
Aloo Papri Chaat.
Okay, right. So other than that,
Yeah.
got some interesting news
Yeah.
for us, which is that Epic Games is currently entangled in a bit of a court battle with Apple and Google.
Yeah, damn. Taking on the giants of a
Yeah.
different industry completely.
Yeah. Well, so basically, what happened was that Apple and Google prevented Epic Games. They took down Fortnite
All right.
from the store because Epic was basically allowing users to buy in-game money directly from Epic and not via Apple and Google, who normally take a 30% cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Damn.
yeah.
What's
To
your
be
opinion?
honest, I'll be honest. The way I see it
Yeah.
is anything that involves the removal of Fortnite from an app store, I'm fine with.
Have you played Fortnite?
For 10 minutes, I didn't understand. I didn't
bro.
understand what was going on.
Do you know what? That period where Fortnite was initially blowing up was pretty awesome because everyone's playing it. It's actually a really good game. If it wasn't taken
It
over
is.
by an army of 10-year-olds, it's a really good game. It's a lot of fun to play with your
That's the
friends
thing, though.
online. You
With
know?
Fortnite, like it's got a lot of staying power. Everyone treats it like, oh, it's this new thing that all the kids are into. But the thing is, it's been going on for like a
Wow.
long time now. Fortnite's been going on, and I will actually argue, in theory, it's probably the most ambitious crossover event in gaming
Okay,
Yeah.
why?
ever,
Why?
well beyond Smash Bros. Because think about it.
Okay.
They always do these collaborations and tie-ins with like several different franchises, movies,
The MCU
TV shows,
there was the
and
MCU
video
tie-ins.
games.
Yes, I remember like early on.
And
they
Travis
had
Scott.
the John Wick thing, right? And that was like super early. When
Yeah.
it wasn't even like they had like that John Wick skin, and I was like, yo, that's kind of lit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now
So
they're
this is a
doing
video game
crazy stuff. Yeah.
where Thanos can fight John Wick can fight like Iron Man can fight like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the skin, but I know they
all
have
kinds of
crazy
craziness.
licenses that they can use all
Yeah.
all these things, and it's insane.
Yeah.
Have you seen the concerts though? The Travis Scott one, like I wasn't there watching, but I watched it on YouTube, and it was kind of lit. Like
What,
I kind of wish I was
genuinely?
there.
Fortnite Travis Scott concert?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
really
genuinely,
awesome. It was really
The
really had to watch
most
after this.
ambitious like online event in gaming history ever.
Yeah.
Like it's so imaginative what they did there.
And it's not
It's
just a
incredible.
concert, right? Like it's like a visual sort of like spectacle. Quite honestly,
Oh yeah, for sure.
it's an
For
experience.
sure.
Like, it's actually kind of crazy. I think you should have watch or watch after this.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Like,
take a look.
Definitely
I-
set the
I-
precedent for like what you can do.
Yeah.
I attended a concert on in Minecraft once.
Oh yes, yes.
Do you remember? I was asking you
this.
incessantly about how to use Minecraft. I think this demonstrates my age in gaming, which is that like I had to contact Izhar, and I was like, Izhar, can you explain to me how to use Minecraft?
And here's the thing, I was really excited because I thought, wow, this guy wants to like get into Minecraft, let's like play it, let's like make a world and hang out. But no, it was just for this shitty concert that
Who
I don't think
was the
even worked
concert?
out in
Who are
the
you
end, did it?
seeing?
It was like a festival. There was like Doja Cat was there, and then American football. One of my favorite emo bands was there. So it was like it was like a little festival. But yeah, I don't understand how to do Minecraft. I think
Was this recently then?
yeah, it was
during
like
the
it was like during the
pandemic?
first
Of course,
lockdown.
Yeah,
Just
it was
during the first lockdown.
less than a year ago.
Okay.
I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were playing like GTA and stuff back then.
Yeah.
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 But other than that, any other news though?
There's there's something that I really want to talk about, which is the apology that came from the Cyberpunk developer. I know this is the fourth week in a row that we've been talking about
We tried
Cyberpunk.
so hard
Every
not to mention
time.
Cyberpunk again.
But they're
Yeah.
just constantly
Here we are.
news and everything that happens with Cyberpunk. Like they recently, not just the apology, but like some people that, current employees and ex-employees that wanted to be anonymous came out and said that like, yeah, it was pretty much a disaster in terms of like how the game was being published and released leading up to its disastrous launch, where they really emphasized the marketing over the actual development of the game. And they put so much money into the hype that they really prioritized that as opposed to like launching a product that works.
Yeah, it was
because-
so dumb. Yeah.
Honestly, it had to have been tested. Like,
No, they
How
knew,
could you
like,
miss
how could
I
you
will
that-
say,
not
I will
test
say
it
though,
in?
like like the thing that I find annoying, interesting, frustrating about this whole thing is that for me, that apology from the developer is one of the best things I've seen in general. A lot of people
Okay.
will disagree with me. A lot of people will be like, no, companies need to do better. We pay them enough money, etc., etc. Fine, we do. But this is a company that could have easily taken our money, fucked off, and not cared about it.
No, but here's the thing: they couldn't take our money because they had to do refunds for everything. So
yeah,
they
fine.
kinda,
But
like, they,
it's not like Cyberpunk didn't sell, and it's not like it wouldn't have sold.
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, the way I see it, it wasn't just for the their fans and the customers, but also like the shareholders saying, "Look, everything is okay. We got this. We'll sort this out." But also like one of the things that CD Projekt Red really cares about more than anything is their reputation and the goodwill that they have between their fans, and to see it being absolutely tarnished because CD
pretty
Projekt
much.
Red is probably one of the most celebrated companies
Crazy,
in video
yeah.
game development.
After
And as a
Witcher.
publisher, because Witcher 2, it was like the pride of Poland. There was a whole story where like when Barack Obama went to visit Poland in like
It was
2009,
like Witcher, wasn't it?
then Prime Minister, President of Poland, gave him like a gift basket full of like the things that like Poland was like really proud of, and in it was like a download code for Witcher 2,
Yeah.
just to
Wow,
give you an
yeah.
idea of
Insane,
how
isn't it?
celebrative.
That's amazing.
You know,
This is the thing. So like that's why for me, like, I know that companies have to do better, and especially the kind of stories that we were hearing about crunch and the way that employees were being treated. It just wasn't good enough, and from that perspective, there are clearly things that they need to fix.
Yeah.
But I think from a communication perspective, I really respect the apology. I respect the honesty and integrity of doing so. You can say that fine, it's for the shareholders, that it's it's just a ploy to make more money later on. I definitely think that those elements are there, but I think we do have to recognize a certain level of honesty when it comes around, because it's not that common in gaming, to be honest.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. So yeah, that
happened
was
with
a-
Final Fantasy 14 and No Man's Sky, and they both massive comeback stories. And I'm telling you,
Yeah.
next year when Cyberpunk fixes its games, adds a
Cyberpunk.
lot of the cut content in, it will genuinely be one of the best games of the PS4 generation. It
Yeah.
really
I
does
get
live up
that.
to the hype in some ways.
And
And it was in my top 5 this year, so
in terms of
Yeah.
CD Projekt Red's ability to do that, I'm sure like they are talented enough to do that. So yeah. I agree.
Well, we'll have to see how the year goes. Are there any other new releases that you guys are excited about? Anything coming up?
It's a bit dry right now, isn't
Well-
it? But, apart
well,
from Scotty.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you
So it's not that big of a news. Like one of the like big celebrated indie game with a big cult following, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Yeah.
Massive fan of that film. You know, it was very much an Adeeb kind of film.
Yeah, he used to always mention
in
to
a
me
sense.
when he was a kid, like, "Oh, dude, have you seen Scott Pilgrim? Did you want to watch it for the ninth
That
time?"
was like defined my teen years because I was just how awkward I was.
Yeah,
It was an amazing
Scott-
film. though.
Scott Pilgrim is complete Adeeb. I mean, I love Scott Pilgrim too,
Yeah.
but I love Adeeb, which makes sense. So it's like, you know, Adeeb energy is Scott
Yeah.
Pilgrim energy, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Also, Edgar Wright, great director,
Yeah.
great films. But mainly, this game has been re-released on consoles because it was pulled from all online stores because of licensing issues. So a lot of people weren't able to buy that game anymore. So there's only a few select people who actually had that game, had it on their consoles and nowhere else. Kind of in a similar situation to PT,
Yeah.
which kind of is
PT.
sort of an argument for why like digital games are sometimes kind of iffy. I know a lot of people buy digital games. I do as well. But, you know, there's no real ownership of those games like you would say with physical, for example.
Yeah.
And I guess there's that safety net. If you have a physical copy of the game, it can't really be taken from you, whereas it can with digital.
Definitely.
And non-gaming news, did you guys see the pictures for Mortal Kombat?
Oh yes,
The movie
Yeah,
coming
yeah.
out.
It does
I
look
haven't
cool.
seen it. I haven't
I
seen
mean,
it
yeah,
myself.
we talked a couple of episodes about video game movies, so I'm just hopeful that this is, you know, it's good. That's what I'm hoping. for.
Yeah.
I feel
I
like
mean-
we've gone far enough that people have learned their mistakes. You know, directors have learnt mistakes.
Oh, don't be so sure, because
yeah.
you know how it is. in this
I'm
industry.
cautiously optimistic about that, but I think we may see a bit of a renaissance in video game movies, as with Detective Pikachu. You've got the upcoming Last of Us HBO thing.
I hope, I pray and hope.
I hope they do
You've
that
got
right.
the Uncharted
Love it.
series,
Yeah.
and Sony
And that
is
too.
going in hard
Yeah.
with their like first party titles. They've created their own film studio for their like, you know, video game properties. So Uncharted is probably going to be on the thing. They tried with Ratchet and Clank again. That was a
Did
bit
they?
of a flop.
I didn't even know that.
It came out
Oh god.
and concurrently with their game, and
Oh.
from what I got, I didn't see it, but it just looked like it was just the cutscenes of that game with a few extra cutscenes to make it a movie. Well, it
Well,
wasn't
no.
like that, but it wasn't, you know, it wasn't all that.
Fi-
but
fingers crossed it'll be good.
Definitely.
That's as far as news from
We've
my
got
end,
some
but yeah.
updates to give about the Triple Tap Smash League.
Yes.
So we're now into week 3 of the TTSL, and you and Shav
Yep.
are the current joint leaders.
Yeah.
Third week running with the exact same kill death ratio.
Yeah, I know. Like every week, I try to one up him. I mean, it's hard for the first two, for like where we were like trying to like do like our best and not even lose a single life. But then when I played first this week and I lost quite a few lives to Ray, I was like, crap, he's gonna take it now. And he managed to also lose the same amount of lives as well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm surprised as well because both matches. You know, your match with Ray and then his match with Callum was the fantastic matches.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely check out the highlights of that on our YouTube channel. There's a couple of highlights matches on there.
Some good highlights there.
Yep, just another plug. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Twitch channel. We have an
Discord.
Instagram channel. We have a Discord as well. Once
Discord,
again,
too.
if you want to hang out with us, chill, play games,
Come through.
Link
do
below,
whatever.
link below.
stay
Yeah.
for the memes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
It'll all be attached in the link.
Yeah.
So,
check it all out.
Awesome.
So that brings us somewhat onto, well, at least Smash certainly with its multiplayer element brings us on to our question that we're talking about this week.
Yeah.
Which is a very fun question. I'm looking forward to it. Which is
Yee.
Splitscreen dead? What are we
The
saying?
memories,
Well-
the nostalgia.
Considering that we're under the sort of guidelines of COVID and the fact that we're in lockdown, kinda,
Currently-
yeah. Unless
yes,
you have a
definitely,
family,
yes.
unless you get the entire family involved in gaming and our sort of aging parents aren't really into that demographic of hey, let's play games. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as hanging out with friends, going to their houses and playing games, can't
Not
really do that
happening right
now.
Yeah.
So 2020, yeah, definitely a bit dead.
Yeah, I suppose, I guess the reason, just like we said, Adeeb, part of the reason that we're talking about this is because, the especially with like everything that's happening now with lockdown and all those sorts of restrictions, that I think combined with where games have gone in recent years, with regards to the fact that, it's pretty much super standard now that most games come with a sort of multiplayer element.
Yeah.
And obviously, like this year, for example, one of the number one games that we saw that proliferated with the multiplayer environment was Animal Crossing, for example.
Oh yeah. Animal Crossing.
Which Izar is very
favourite.
happy to hear about. But not just Animal Crossing. Obviously, there's so many games that just like we talked about Fortnite earlier on. We talked
Online,
about
Yeah.
Overwatch. All these games, they're all multiplayer and online. So it almost seems like online is just the way to go now.
Yeah,
But-
everyone's, even the mainstream stuff, like you got like Warzone, you got your Fortnite, like you mentioned, everyone's got their game. And now, while they're playing more together with friends than ever before through online, they're not really playing local as much.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys remember, I think all three of us remember like a time when split screen was the norm, right? When
Massive.
Yeah.
it wasn't like we for us when we started playing like PS3 and playing online, like it was a big deal. It was brand new, but
Yeah.
like
Online gaming wasn't. I didn't care about it. Like when I was a kid, I thought to myself, do you know what? Why would I care about playing with a random person online when I can play with my friends or my older brothers or something? Like, why would I care
Yeah.
about playing online? That's how it was back
exactly.
then.
It is. I must say, it is weird how natural the shift was, or like how I don't remember thinking for a moment, except for now. I don't remember while it was happening thinking, "Oh no, split screen is dead." I just
Yeah.
it just kind of suddenly
It was a
transitioned.
slow shift out of it, because I remember when the PS3 and the Xbox 360 first came out, split screen was still thriving. It was still the main thing. It was a norm. Like if a game it didn't have split screen, they'd be like, "Oh, it's a missing feature now, isn't it? It's gonna detract from the experience." Like how can you play Call of Duty Modern Warfare without split screen? Like, mate.
Luckily, Call
Yeah.
of Duty games always have split screen. That's the one thing I'll give them credit for, is they know that people love to hang out with their friends, play zombies together, 4-player split screen, It's that companionship and that
Runs on a
camaraderie that
potato.
comes with
4 frames per second, but you're still enjoying it. Like,
Yeah, like a lot of people will, say, no, but the performance, the FPS, the graphics, like the visual fidelity of the game, I want this like to be. I get that for like strong competitive like experience, like competitive, experience sort of. Yeah, I guess you don't want split screen, but a lot of the time when you're with your friends, you're not really playing to think, I need to be the best. I gotta be the best. A lot of the time, you're just there to have fun. Like ultimately, the enjoyment is spending your time with friends and doing that.
I remember
and the interactions that follow afterwards.
with Adeeb in particular, one game that me, you, and like a few other family friends and cousins really bonded over was a couch co-op game called.
Oh, yes,
you know
the
it.
meme.
Was it?
Meme.
Was it?
PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
Do you know what's the crazy part? I wasn't actually thinking of that. I was thinking of something else.
Oh,
Well, Towerfall.
Yeah, Towerfall.
yeah.
Yeah, no, okay,
Powerful
so
Ascension,
there's
bro.
a few games, but
Yeah.
I will say nothing has driven me more to be enraged at my brother than PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale. But
Because his
Towerfall
evil
comes a
code
close second.
was clinical.
God damn.
It was clinical.
Okay, so for non-Nintendo console owners, because no one really bought the Wii U, all we had was the PS3 merging onto the PS4 because none of us were going to buy the Wii U.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. He bought it for Smash.
Yeah, I did.
But the closest thing we had to Smash was PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
And I was,
The best
we
way
were
I can
all-
describe
we were so sad for that
PlayStation
game.
All Stars Battle Royale is, the meme where it's like, Mom, can we have this? And she's like, no, we have Smash Bros at home.
That was Smash
PlayStation
Bros.
4
at
All
home.
Stars
that's-
Battle Royale is the Smash
that's
Bros at
the-
home,
that's Smash
Yeah,
Bros.
yeah, yeah.
which is
honestly.
unfortunate because it has a lot of potential.
And it was fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, dude,
It was
the
fun.
combat was really nice. It was
So
less-
broken and unbalanced, but
Oh my god!
let's
I
not
remember
talk about
I used to
that.
main Dante as well, and like any sword character had a massive advantage. I mean, I guess that is a parallel with Smash Bros as well. But for some reason,
Yeah.
sword characters would just wreck it. Like Raiden was amazing. Like his
They had
combos
the-
were just like you smash square a million times in a row, and you'd be in like an infinite combo. Like that's how it was.
Yeah.
Like, in that
I
game.
just find it hilarious. Like the characters that you were expecting to have in PlayStation All Stars weren't there. A lot of them were in Smash Bros, like Cloud
Yeah.
and
yeah,
Sephiroth.
Crazy.
And like you had Raiden. I mean, you had Dante, cool, but you had like the
didn't
emo
have Snake.
Dante from DMC.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have
yeah,
Snake.
yeah.
They had Raiden. They were using the game as like a marketing tool for upcoming games like Metal Gear Rising
Yeah.
and like the DMC game and a few other stuff. Like they had some cool, good stuff in the game,
definitely.
and it was fun. But
See, some of my memories with fighting games is like, for me, like a very big part is, Street Fighter in general.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 4 specifically. I remember we used to play Street Fighter 4 a lot around your house, and that was always so much fun.
Oh, Street Fighter 4,
oh, yeah.
bro.
But I just, for me, like I grew up on Street Fighter. Like when I was 5 years old, one of the first games I ever played, touched, understood, was Street Fighter.
Yeah.
I played Street Fighter in Bangladesh. Like, it kind of made me think about this thing that, like, split screen and couch co-op is the whole reason why video games exist. Like, you think about games like Pong, for example, which is many considered to be like the very first video game.
Yeah.
That's fundamentally at its very core a multiplayer
Yeah.
local co-op game, like, or like a that's a split screen game, right?
Can you
Yeah, and
imagine
like-
playing Pong alone? You're like, I don't want to play with
I mean, you
anyone
can,
today.
but it'd be
Yeah,
shit
you
as shit,
can,
right?
but
you'll be playing with the AI that from
Yeah.
the 80s that they made, which
Yeah.
would just follow like a trajectory. You
Yeah.
know, like it. Yeah.
So this is the thing,
what
like,
did we have?
it's weird, it's crazy that, like, basically you look at the history of video games and how they've evolved, and we very much were part of a generation where a change happened.
yeah.
This movement towards online, and like, I almost miss that kind of era of video games that we used to have, like,
It's definitely a
I miss
nostalgia
the
thing,
perfect
like-
blend that kind of existed in like the early 10s, because like we all sort of sensed that there was a shift, like, yo, online is the new thing and it's here to stay. And as much as I love couch co-op as split screen, online at that time was the thing that you wanted to do all the time and use. But a lot of games they came out with both because they couldn't afford to lose the local co-op aspect of it in case like people would be put off. Like I said, like COD, Halo was definitely a massive one. So even though Halo pioneered like the online gaming for the masses, right? They were also pioneers for really good couch co-op split screen as well.
Yeah.
So they had like that
I mean,
perfect
obviously
blend.
started with GoldenEye, but yeah,
Of course.
they had that
GoldenEye.
perfect thing. I mean, like I think it really is just the fact that local multiplayer was always a thing, because a console was always not meant to be used by one person. But the second they had multiple controller inputs, they always had it. It was always about playing with other people.
Yep.
And gaming was always just about having a shared experience with other people, as it was, playing by yourself and going on your own single player adventure. For sure, there was a competitive aspect to it.
Yep.
I think, yeah, like you said, it's when the internet came into play, everything's changed, like in terms of online. Obviously, whole different story for PC gaming, because
It's always been
it's
online.
impossible to do like
Yeah.
split screen.
Ha-
It's
holla,
always
holla,
online,
holla,
and you
holla.
had LAN,
No, no.
obviously.
Do you remember
but-
the times when you'd have like 4 people surrounding a keyboard?
Yep, I've had that. I
Yeah,
remember
bro,
that.
come on, man. Like,
That was
Guys,
so good.
Do you
guys,
remember Little Fire?
Flash
Little Fire
games
2?
were the thing.
I know you know about Little
Flash
Fire, bro.
games. Little Fighter was great as well.
Little Fire was amazing,
Oh
man.
my god.
Yeah.
That was such a accessed a part of my childhood there.
Yeah, yo, I unlocked a memory there, didn't I?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was too crap at that game. I had to resort to all the cheat codes to
Oh,
just
yeah,
be the
same.
most overpowered guy ever, because it was just impossible otherwise.
Do you remember
What-
Slime Sports? Slime, slime.
Are they-
Where it's like a little slime and there's like a bunch of sports and you can like split the keyboard, right? And it's like maybe
Oh,
volleyball or bowling or football. Do you not remember that? It was massive in the UK.
No, I don't remember this.
Remember that?
I remember in school we used to have this one game that you used to play, like in school, as in like actually in school. It was like, those websites, it's like cool maths games and stuff
Yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah.
got through the game filter, like the filter for like games.
Yeah, it
because
was
of
always an
educational
IT,
site.
always an IT
But it was
lessons.
just it was just a flash game. We used to play this game called BM Tron, which was basically just 4-player Snake.
Oh, that's lit. yeah.
It's Best
the
way I
kid-
can describe it is you ever played Astro Bears on the Switch?
Yeah,
No.
It's very similar to that.
Astro Bears is
Oh,
great.
I
Yeah, it's
have
a great
on your
game.
Switch, Adeeb.
Astro Bears is a great game.
Also, amazing couch co-op game. It's
Yeah.
like 50p. It's always on sale, and it's like the lowest price ever. And
Well,
it's
It's a
like
good game.
What about Crawl? Anyway, sorry, no, we're getting into Nintendo.
Yeah,
Okay,
we're
we'll
getting
leave
into
that
our
for-
favorite games.
for a bit
Well, so,
later.
okay, before we get into this though, I was gonna say to you, like, do you guys remember the first game that you like properly played purely online? 'Cause I do.
Ooh. Okay, yeah, go on.
My one was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah, same. Modern Warfare 2.
100%.
Yeah.
Modern Warfare 2 was the number one way that I got right into online.
Ooh,
games. It was on the
actually-
PS3. It was on the PS3,
Yeah.
and that was immediately how I started playing like online. Like I
Yeah.
have memories of like, because the thing is, I remember, because that was like what, like year 7, 8, 9 for me.
Yeah.
That was like 2007, 2008, 2009, right?
Hmm.
And I remember when I was in year 7 or year 8, I remember going to my friend's house. Shout out to Frankie, and I would go to his house and we would play like, you know, like NFL Tour. We would play like some sports games. Sports games another big one in terms of like co-op and like the social experience, man. Like FIFA, for example.
Yeah.
You know, that is never gonna. I think sports games wise,
They always have to keep
even
that.
though FIFA has like a huge online element, like with pro clubs, for example.
Yeah.
I still think the shared experience, that aspect is never going to die. But I remember going to my friend's house and we would play like sports games or whatever. But I also remember then in year 8 and 9, like calling my friends up and saying, "Hey, do you want to play like Modern Warfare 2 online?"
Yeah.
And like, you know, working out time or whatever. So like, yeah, I think, you know, PS3 was definitely that era when things started to change and
Shifting,
shift.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think obviously discounting PC games or like MMOs, I'd say Borderlands was a really good one as well. To play online, but even then, that's got
you
couch
could play
co-op as well.
Yeah, on that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
That's
you
a
know
huge
what I
plus.
find? Do you know what I find weird though? Like I find it weird that like nowadays arcades is like it's like a cool retro different thing to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so like there are still like places where you can play arcade games,
yeah.
right? But it's like going to play at an arcade is not like a standard way of playing a video game. It's just like a cool or different way of doing it. Like you get these like hipster cafes with like arcade machines,
Yeah.
you know, and like hipster cool young people experiences where you can go play arcade games. Like it's suddenly
Yeah.
a retro thing. Whereas there was a point
you
I
wanna-
mean, before us when that was the way to go.
Yeah.
I went to probably one of the most hipster events in that sense.
Yeah.
It was obviously in like Bethnal Green, Shoreditch, that kind of
Classic.
area.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It was a warehouse party,
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
of course, and they had the beer on tap and everything.
Yeah.
They had it was called Super Warehouse Gaming Party. It was like your standard East London like warehouse party bar kind of thing, except they had a setup of a bunch of retro consoles wall to wall across each one, and it was literally just like like this bunch of people hanging out playing like retro games locally, like, you know, and they'd often like have a bunch of indie games
Yeah.
that they would play as well, as like betas and stuff like that, and people would just hang out, have
See,
a couple
I
of
mean,
drinks,
I know
play
that
games,
this
have
stuff
some
is
popcorn.
cool. Like, I think you know it's cool that we have this stuff, but you know, I certainly like if there's one period of time that I would love to be a part of, it's definitely like you know I very much romanticize that whole thing of like going to the local arcade with your friends and you put a coin on the machine and then you know you get next go and you play the arcade machines. And
I just have
I don't know,
birthday
you know, I
parties
think
where we'd head to the local arcade / cinema complex and we'd just
Chuck
go
E.
wild.
Cheese, let's go.
Bro, I remember playing like House
Little
of the
bowl-
Dead, that stupid like hit as many flashing lights as you can game.
yeah,
I only think of House of the Dead as like when you go to your like rest stops on the motorways and they have that little arcade section. Do you remember?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't
But
remember
the thing,
Yeah.
but this is the thing, right? Like, so like you know back then, like arcade, you know, video game arcades, that was the scene. Like you know, people used to go in there to play Street Fighter tournaments. You know,
Yeah,
because that was the only place that had Street Fighter properly, Street Fighter 2, right? And they would go there to play Street Fighter tournaments or whatever. So
like
like,
a name for yourself in the FGC community circa 90s. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
no, but there's the thing, like you know, there's always this thing where you have to balance up, like how much, you know, do you nostalgize or romanticize the past, versus how great is it now that so many people can get involved in games.
But like, here's the thing,
Absolutely,
as
and across the
amazing-
world as well.
Yeah.
As amazing as I love the interconnectivity of online gaming and anyone can get involved and it's convenient and it's like revolutionary, right? I still think nothing beats like having your like a best mate next to you on the couch playing a game together, and it's just a completely different experience, you know, just having
Exactly.
an awesome time with your friends in person. And that's like with anything, like for example, like if you FaceTime someone, meeting them in real life is always more desirable, or it's just a better experience. And I think that also translates into games as well, where like I could have played Modern Warfare 2 online, which I did a shit ton, but the best memories I have was playing 4-player split screen in my 12th birthday party, taking turns on the controller with my mates, quick scoping with the intervention.
1v1 me on Rust, bro.
best moments, man. When
I have lots
your
of memories.
two
But
best people in your friend group going out a 1v1 and everyone's surrounding you and like watching and screaming when you do like a 360 no scope. You can't.
But the thing is, the number one thing though, the number one issue with Rust, right? The Rust 1v1 thing, was screen watching. So like, you know,
that's part of the
always
experience. You have to like debate them, like pretend like, oh, I'm going this way now.
You have to play the mind game. In fact, you know what? There was a game. We're going to get into indie games later on, but there was an indie game, completely based on this premise of screen watching.
Really?
And like, I got it.
Screen cheats.
Screen cheats, and you have to like look at the other person's screen to work out where they are in order to beat them.
Everyone's invisible, so you literally have to watch the other person's screen to figure out where they are. It's like a first-person shooter. But I'd go even deeper back then. I'd say like the peak of local like split screen and all that for me personally, because it's a very nostalgic episode. We're just a bunch of boomers talking about the good old days. This episode, I will definitely say PS2 era, Tekken, Dragon Ball Z, Budokai, those games, your anime arena fighters.
Oh, you unlocked a
Dragon
memory.
Ball Z, Budokai.
Bro, you unlocked a memory. Oh my god.
Mortal Kombat, Armageddon. Those were
memories.
like, those are good. Izza, do you remember like you used to be like this little kid that just used to be so good at video games?
I used to have
we used to call you?
a nickname specifically from Adeeb and that clan, right? They used to call me the what was it exactly? It was.
I was asking you.
It was.
How could you
It
forget?
was the game guru. They used to call me the game guru. So they would have this game, right? And I'd come like 8 years old. I'm like, yo, what's up? What's this game, right? And they'd like be like pros at it and stuff. And I'm like, okay, let's play it, right? 2 hours later, I'm like matching their skill level, if not beating them afterwards. I don't know what it was.
You are Gohan.
Bro, that's the biggest compliment you could give me, because I think Gohan's like one of my favorite anime characters as well. Dude,
You're
nice.
a Gohan.
yeah, that was a good
Like,
time. I don't have it anymore.
They
but-
they respected you in games, but they didn't respect you in real life. Do you remember that time they scared the shit out of us?
Oh my god! So we have
Traumatic
like
memories.
we have like
Traumatic
older cousins and
memories.
stuff, right? And when we were kids, me and Adeeb were like massive pussies. Like we were scared of anything, right? So they like forced us to watch horror movies and like play with our minds. And there's one time where we're hiding in a bathroom in tears. If you remember, Adeeb, we were like literally having like that was PTSD. Like we have PTSD.
I still have PTSD. I was like, God damn, you got
it hard.
us up that day.
I got it badly, but you got it even worse, dude. Like,
Yeah, that was
good times, man.
sad times.
That same day we were playing Soul Calibur 2. No, 3, maybe 2. I think it was 2 actually.
Soul Calibur 3, but Soul Calibur 2 was also great. But yeah, Soul
Bro.
Calibur 3,
Couch
man,
co-op,
that was
right?
good.
Here's
You know?
the thing, right? So like, we've spent so much time talking about so many of these memories, right? But this is the thing, like, I'm confident and I'm guaranteed that we could get so many more memories of us talking about the stuff that we do with split screen or local multiplayer than we would ever have like talking about online. Like, sure, like, online recently we've been, for example, the Smash League, for example, that's all online and we're having a good time with that. But it's not as like deep memories as it would be like, the kind of stuff that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, it's
like,
true.
here's another big one for local multiplayer.
Yeah.
And it's technically kind of split screen.
Yeah.
Rock Band.
Bro, I was gonna say that, and I knew you were gonna say that as well.
Yeah.
So
Rock Band,
linking
dude.
back to the game guru stuff, right? Do you remember the first time I ever played Rock Band, which was at your house, on, right?
Yeah,
I
what
was
was it, my
10
house?
years old.
And you
had it on the
you could
Wii.
hit all of the vocals with your little
With your
unbroken
high
angelic
with your
pitch
unbroken
voice.
angelic voice.
100% on SingStar. But no,
Yeah.
listen, I remember I picked it up, and by the end of the day, I was like playing like medium on drums, like it was nothing.
That's it. Yeah, I remember. And then we designated you as the drummer.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
the
'cause you
drummer
were
of
like,
it.
yeah. Oh man.
I just remember playing Maps a lot
I-
and Foo Fighters.
Don't look back in anger. That
Oh,
song,
man.
bro.
So many memories,
So many
man.
memories of that song.
One of my favorite memories is you singing that Coheed and Cambria song.
Oh, welcome home.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
But see, this is what I mean. Like, look how happy we are. Like, we're talking about Splitscreen. We're never going to get that back.
Yeah.
Well, we will.
When?
Okay,
How?
let's talk about this then. Fine. What do you think is the reason for, like, why video game companies have started to exclude like split screen modes from games, for example?
Expensive
Money.
to develop for, and they get nothing out of it. Really. and
Yeah, they
truly.
get nothing out of
Yeah.
it. They'd much rather have people buy their own console and buy their own copy of the game than have someone come over and share that experience.
Like,
Well,
think about
yeah.
this, right? They would spend time, money, and resources into developing these couch co-op modes and split screen modes and optimizing it and running the whole game around it, and maybe get a few more sales as a result. But they don't have to bank on the fact that people won't buy it, because it's very secondary now. And to be honest, like he said, why would you allow your game to be shared when you can force people to get a whole console and another copy of their game?
Do you know what?
Yeah,
This attitude though is exactly
It's toxic.
it's awful. I mean, it's the
It's
nature of-
anti-consumer. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, this is the thing. But it's the main reason. This kind of attitude is the reason why I stopped playing Street Fighter 5. I bought Street Fighter 5, played it for like half an hour to an hour. Played it for like 3 days. Got so annoyed and just sold it back.
Yeah.
Because I had to pay to I had to play the game. I had to pay to unlock characters.
Yeah.
Basic good characters like Blanca and Akuma were DLC.
For real.
Yeah. Basic characters were DLC.
That's BS.
And I
man.
couldn't unlock, and the basic roster was shit, and I couldn't really play against or with anyone, right? And it didn't have that same feel that like Street Fighter 4 had. So like, I guess I definitely see this argument that like, for game companies, they're gonna sell more, right? You have to bank on not only me getting a particular copy of a game, but you getting a copy of the game,
Yeah.
which requires you to buy the console as well. Which is
And
why
the
we're
game.
seeing the numbers, but.
Yeah.
There is an argument to be made as well that, eventually when we see past this, when consumers see past what they're doing, maybe there's a chance that they'll demand something like split screen back.
And here's the thing, I feel like split screen is becoming like a niche and like its own sort of like a genre now. Because think about this, there's a lot of games that aren't really opting in for the online thing as much, or even doing a blend and be like, yo, this is a game that you can play with your best friend locally, and that's unique in these days, right? And it's built around that. So think about one huge example of like a couch co-op, and I guess online as well, but it's technically a split screen game because it's always in split screen. You have to play it in split screen. A Way Out. Have you guys played that game?
No.
So I played it recently in 2020 with my best friend Shav. Shav Icon, by the way. So how it is, right? It's a story game, right, where you interact with things and there's a huge storyline and everything, but there's two characters and you have to play it with at least one other person, like online or like when you're like in person, and you pick a character and they're both main characters and the whole game is a split screen game. So perhaps you're doing one event and you're playing in this level and you're doing like, I don't know, whatever, and your mate's also doing whatever, but it converges and it's very integral to the game. Is you're both playing the entire game, but together, split screen, and it's amazing.
Wow, that's okay. I need to check that out. That sounds good.
Really check it out, and it has an amazing.
I think you are right, which is that like, I guess the shift now, the industry-wise shift is that now couch co-op and local multiplayer is its own selling point, right? So
Yeah.
Definitely.
There are,
Indies are massive when it comes to this.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
there are titles
They're
like Overcooked,
Yeah.
Towerfall,
Love.
you know,
we talked about
Gang
Towerfall.
Beasts.
Yeah. I absolutely, I think actually in many ways, that's also quite a good thing, right? Which is that, developers now, especially indie developers, who we've definitely got to, make sure we do the best to support.
I agree.
But, they are making use of the fact that of that nostalgia.
Yeah.
And for that reason, like, they're making really brilliant multiplayer games fit for purpose for
They're
multiplayer.
capturing the magic, and they're really sort of preserving it. Because when I was playing A Way Out once again, me and Shav were having so much fun. And yes, we weren't in person, but just the whole like cooperative nature of the game and the split screen nature, it was so unique and different, and it was just so much fun. It's just pure fun.
Yeah,
It really is an experience you can't get with these normal games that are just online single player. Yeah, sure.
I think the thing that we have to remember, like, obviously, there's lots of different types of games, right? But there's something that's so important about games remaining and retaining that social element. Because without that social element, like games were born as to be social, to be shared.
Yeah.
And obviously, there are lots of games that are single player and you enjoy them by yourself. And obviously, there's a whole market for that. But games fundamentally were made to be shared, to be social.
Yeah.
And if we lose that, then we lose an essence of what it means to be a gamer.
Yeah. Damn, that's actually crazy.
If we're talking about...
Yeah.
Sorry, you were saying?
No, I was saying back to a Towerfall again. We used to do like 2v2s and stuff, right? And it would get so competitive and so much fun. And I remember this one time with your little bro Riot. Shout out Riot, by the way. We were in a team.
Shout out Riot.
And it was the most intense 2v2s. And when we won, we instinctively got up, right? And did the same dance at the same time with each other without even like communicating. And if you remember, we were doing like the shovel dance, like that. Do you remember that? We won, and we were just like this. We're just like randomly out of nowhere at the same time together without even communicating it.
Love it.
That doesn't happen. That's like crazy.
You can't really do that. I mean, like, there are definitely perks to online. You make new friends, you form new communities, you hang out with a lot more people, but that's just online in general. But the memories you create of being together with a group of friends and family is completely just timeless and amazing. And it just got us so happy and talking about it right now.
Yeah.
But I will say, indies are one thing, but I will say the one gaming company, major one that's done it so well, even now, is Nintendo. Always 100%. Nintendo with their games. Like, Nakey Jakey, the best thing about Nintendo showing that is 8-player Smash Bros.
8-player Smash Bros.
Yeah.
The actual Joy-Cons.
They
go on.
went out their way to be like, you know what? 4-player has always been the norm. Let's make it 8. Why not? Right?
Well, that's the thing, like, but this is what's so brilliant about Nintendo, which is that, like, they somehow as a company, they have always been the company that has managed to, maybe to a fault sometimes, but has always managed to balance nostalgia and tradition in gaming with innovation.
Yes,
and they've always managed this balance really well, right? So this 8-player Smash thing, the technology allows them to go to 8-player Smash. The nostalgia element is playing multiplayer Smash.
Yeah.
Combine those things, right?
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about, like, other games doing the same thing, right? So, like, it's perfectly possible that games that are on the PlayStation and Xbox are able to use their expanded technology to provide incredible split screen and local multiplayer options. I mean, the reason they don't is because of things that we've said, but imagine if they did. Imagine if they took a leaf out of Nintendo's book.
Look at Nintendo. They went and said, hey, you don't have a Switch? It's okay. I can split my controller in half so you can play with me. Like,
literally, local multiplayer is designed into the console.
Literally.
Like, it's one controller designed for you to share and play with another person.
But here's the thing, right? Here's the thing to be said about, like, from a consumption perspective, right? Think about how much Nintendo Switch has sold.
Yeah,
right? You don't have to rely on a model that relies on online, that relies on you getting a Switch on one person two people getting a console, two people getting the same game in order to play.
With that being said,
Go ahead.
They need to improve their online though.
Their
went
online
a bit
is
too
terrible.
far into
They're-
the local multiplayer territory and forgot about online.
I
Pretty
the thing
much,
is,
pretty
like,
much.
you can play online on Nintendo, and it's
You
just
can.
about
It's like
It's
playing
hand.
on a PS2 with
Yeah.
like a Ethernet adapter. My bro
it's
had
like
one of
it's
those.
like
back in
just
the
about
day.
working for our Smash League. Like I don't know how we're pulling it off, to be honest. We're just about making it work.
The amount of lag
Uh-huh.
that happens. I have to buy an Ethernet
Anytime
adapter.
Izhar receives a WhatsApp notification, Smash Bros turns into a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh my god, bro! Like I remember I was having my first ever match versus Azan, right, for the league, and then I was like, "Hey, listen, I'm hotspotting it from my phone, okay? What are the chances in the next 4 minutes someone's gonna message me, right?" And my sister-in-law video calls me, and the whole game just like crashes, and I'm just there like, Nintendo, just please, why don't you work for me?
Just the one thing that they could, definitely. But I guess this is the thing, companies have to, make choices about, what sort of things that they balance up.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I think though with Nintendo. Like, unlike other consoles, because we're talking purely consoles here, because
Yeah.
PC don't give a shit about any of this, to be honest. With Nintendo, like, I think with Nintendo, their consoles come with family in mind, whereas the other consoles really focus on the individual
The gamer.
experience of gaming. Like, even the first, like, Nintendo Entertainment System, the Japanese version for that was Famicom, which is literally family computer.
Yeah.
And I've stuck with that ethos to this day.
Love it.
So I think
Yeah,
that's kind of
like-
what it is.
I think it's a fair point, which is that Nintendo has always been the company of like social gaming,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
fitting that very deeply and weaving that throughout their games, and through the design. I mean, that being said, like, companies like Sony and Microsoft, they obviously, I guess, it's like the thing that we were saying a couple of weeks ago, which is that each company seems to have like a particular focus, right? So
Yeah.
you make that particular focus for your company, then you determine, what works best for your company.
Exactly.
But I mean, I guess my I guess our secondary question here is that we've talked about the possibility that split screen's dead. We've talked about the fact that the money is the reason why companies and game people don't do it, even though Nintendo are probably the one company keeping on to it.
Yeah.
But do you think that there's a future for split screen gaming? Is there a future in which companies like Sony
Here's
and
the
Microsoft bring those elements back?
I feel like split screen is on its deathbed. As games advance and become more technically complex and demanding with our current hardware, splitting it into a split screen is becoming way, way harder. Like, if you look at the recent Call of Duties, they've tried to keep it, but the game looks like shit, it runs like shit, and it's not fun. Like,
When you play it split
split
screen,
it's not like how it used to be optimized. I think that split screen is dying, which is
Yeah.
sad, but I'm not too fussed about, because that was mainly with first-person shooters anyways. Couch co-op, though, and local multiplayer, that has a bright future and always will, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, look at
Absolutely.
Nintendo. Like
I think I agree with that, and I think
yeah.
especially if we continue to support indie developers, especially if we continue to support, companies that encourage those kind of games.
And they will. Like, there's a huge fan base for people who just don't like online gaming. My
Melee
older brother-
community is a big shout out
That
right
too.
now.
Yeah.
Yes, but my older brother, he doesn't play online, but he'd love to play like Mario Kart 8 with the family every once in a while, and he'd love to play these single player games. Like, he doesn't care about
Yeah.
online, and that's okay. You don't have to.
But here's the thing, right? So like, it's interesting, right? So I always wonder about like the strategic elements that companies have to take, which is that obviously gaming is a huge industry. We know that, $1 billion a year industry, all that kind of stuff. But in the context of wider society, gamers still inherit a minority of society, right? And those who are on the wider parts of society, they only play games if it involves some sort of social element. They'll only play a video game if it involves them, bonding or talking to someone or being with somebody, right? Like a brother is a prime example of that. My brother is another example of that as well.
Yes.
He'll play games like FIFA, for example. He'll play it when friends are over or when someone's over, if I play FIFA with him.
Of course.
But that being said, like, but here's the thing. A company like Nintendo are probably one of the few companies that can bring that market in.
Yeah.
But why don't companies like Sony or Microsoft elect to go for that market at all? Like, why don't they target it at all? Like, maybe there's an argument to be said for like them trying to target that market.
I think Nintendo's a special case because they publish their own titles. Sony and Microsoft, they really focus on the AAA, premium experience that's tailored to the thing.
Hardware.
I think that really hit the nail on the coffin for me was Halo 6. Halo is the game when you think about split screen, Slayer and all of that. You're just like playing 4-player, energy swords only, with a bunch of mates, with jetpacks, doing crazy stuff, hanging out. And then Halo 6, no split screen at all.
Yeah.
Only online. And I've had the argument, it was like, why did they get rid of that? That's like what makes Halo for me. And one of my friends argued that split screen was redundant because everyone plays online now.
Yes, I have a lot of friends.
And that upset me for some reason.
No, yeah. I was like personally offended when one of my friends was like, "Oh, split screen's dead." I'm like, "It's not dead. You're stupid." And then next thing you know,
yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,
you don't
shit,
know what you're talking about, youngster,
bro."
Back in my day,
optimized 60 FPS online gameplay. Like, sometimes you don't care about that. Sometimes you want to have too many snacks and too many Diet Cokes and then, like, just regret the day after.
When I lose in a game and get angry, I don't want to just get angry alone. I want to, like, punch my friend out of, like, pure anger.
Yeah.
Because I can. He's right there next to me.
My brother has broken
Control.
so many Pro Evolution. You know the stories.
I know.
My brother
I used
has
to come to your house
so many...
I'm like, why is your controller like falling apart? You're like, oh yeah, we don't talk about that.
My brother...
Gamer rage.
My brother, pure gamer rage. Like, my brother would destroy controllers. He would like get the CD of games of like PES, take it out of the console, snap it in half, throw out the window, and then go out and buy another copy to play again. That's the kind of shit you just don't get back.
See, that is how a game company should make its money.
Yeah.
They're missing out on those moments.
They're missing out on all the controllers. They should make their controllers as flimsy as possible.
Sony, Microsoft, if you want our help on how to make more money for your company, listen to the podcast and employ us as consultants. And on that exact note, we're going to play a game to prove exactly how good we would be for those companies.
All right.
So, welcome back to Triple Tap All-Stars Battle Royale.
Hey, let's go.
Right, we're going to play another game, boys. You ready for another game?
Yeah, let's go.
Fun game times.
In this game, we're going to be designing yet again, but instead we're going to be designing a split screen or multiplayer game for the modern era. It's not meant to be online, so there's no online elements. Mm-hmm. It's meant to be local multiplayer. You can make it split screen. You can make it, not LAN, because that's, again, slightly different, but couch co-op, that kind of thing. Okay, so you know the kind of vibe we're going for.
Yes.
And there's going to be 3 categories. We're going to spin the wheel, and you're going to have 30, 40 seconds, and you have to pitch a game within that. So who's going to judge for us?
I think I should judge this because I feel like you guys would have some pretty awesome games.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm going to share my screen then, and we'll also hopefully be able to get people to take a look at this. So let's see, where are we at? Here we go. Okay. So, can you see that now, boys?
Yes.
I'm seeing a black screen. Oh, there, I can see it now.
There we are.
Yep.
Yeah, okay,
All
right. So, our first category is in the genre. Oh, wait, we haven't decided who's going first yet.
Oh, who wants to go first?
We should do an alphabetical order. Adeeb or Azan? Well, we're both our names start with
we
A.
know.
Right. Adeeb, heads or tails?
Tails.
You can't see, but he's flipping a coin on Google right now.
I can
there
see
we
that.
go, tails. Do you want to go first?
Yay. I'll go second.
Oh, okay. Bastard. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. All right, so I'm going to spin. We're going to spin 3 times. And let's see what happens. Okay, so this is the genre.
Genre, yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Simulator.
So simulator's a hard one
That's gonna be
because
hard, yeah.
simulators
Well, you
tend
got
to be like
Goat
single player.
Simulator, Shower with Your Dad Simulator 2015,
Your favorite game, your personal favorite.
Okay, yeah. Adeeb's number one game. True
and
number one game.
Setting.
Okay, so this is where it's set.
You guys really went in on this one, didn't you?
Okay, so Simulator, and you're on a night out on a bender in Glasgow. That is the setting of the game.
Okay,
Wow.
fine. Yep, okay. Then the aesthetic of the game. So this is like the design, the look, the feel.
I don't even know what half these words mean.
Vapor.
Vaporwave aesthetic.
Okay, so like vaporwave aesthetic. So kind of like that purple sunset tint.
Yeah.
Think
yeah.
like
It's
Hotline Miami kind of vibe.
Hotline Miami in Glasgow while you're pissed out of your mind. Simulator.
Okay, right. So, but I have to make this somehow couch co-op.
Yeah. Go for it.
Okay.
Whenever you're ready, we'll give you a minute, I'd say.
I'll take about 10, 15 seconds. That's all I need.
No, but the
All right.
pitching, yeah?
Okay, yeah,
Make
okay,
fun
fine.
of pitch,
Right, okay.
Perfect. I'm ready for this.
Okay, I think I'm ready. Okay,
Is anyone timing?
I'll time
Is
it,
our
yeah.
time. Okay. Remember that the way that you have to pitch this is that we have to pitch as if, is ours an exec at Sony or Xbox?
5,
Or
4,
EA? Or
3,
whatever.
2, 1, pitch to me.
Okay, so I would like to present to you Glasgow Smashers, the video game. So in this game, this is a simulation game in which you can take on the role of one of 4 lads. And in particular, those 4 lads replicate the recent 4 lads meme that's been going around. And you get to choose one of those 4 characters. Okay? So kind of game starts off and you've got a choice between one of the 4 characters and you've got, different kind of fields and qualities that each of the lads have. And then the idea is that you take on one of those lads
You have 20
and
seconds.
it simulates an experience of going on a bender in Glasgow, like a stag do. And there are different, objectives to be fulfilled. And the overall winner of the game is the one who fulfills the most objectives in the town. But, you're on the thing. So whoever drinks the most pints and whoever, talks to the most birds, whoever gets kicked out the most, all of these different qualities. And then as a team, you can work against each other or with each other to do either team co-op or individual kind of multiplayer. And whoever gets the most points wins.
That sounds like a lot of fun. That sounds like cruel.
So a vaporwave aesthetic stag do simulator in Glasgow.
That sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah, because it's set in the 80s. How about that?
And like you'd play it at like a party where everyone's getting wasted, and they play. It's so meta. Yo,
Imagine
I love
if you had a drinking game for the game that involved drinking.
bro.
That'd be
The
sick.
possibilities, yeah.
4D
Yo.
simulator
Yo,
right
let's
there.
get it, man. Yeah. You
There
get my
we go.
funding.
Yeah, sick.
But
Okay, great.
let's see what Adeeb has then.
Okay,
Do you think
fine.
you can make
Well,
a
it
better game?
really
Adeeb?
depends on what
That
I
was really
get.
good. Yo, yeah.
Okay, right. Let's get this going again then.
Yep.
Right. So I'm gonna share the screen. Okay. So let's
All
see
right.
what you get, Adeeb. Here's your genre:
Come on. Make it so. Make it happen.
racing.
Racing.
Oh.
Okay,
Okay. Do you know what? It's cool. It's cool.
racing's pretty doable.
It's,
okay.
it's a bit inflexible.
That's my least
but
favorite genre. Oh my god. No.
Don't you
Okay, but
insult
it-
Forza like that.
Hey, yeah.
Hey.
And it all depends on the setting. okay?
Pyongyang. Yes. I want him to get racing in Pyongyang.
80s high school in America.
Good luck, Adeeb.
So everything.
John
so
Hughes.
you're-
A
you're
John
think-
Hughes racing game. Got it.
You're thinking Breakfast Club, yeah? That's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Okay. And the aesthetic.
And the aesthetic is. No!
Oh my god. What does that even mean? How do you even do that?
So, okay.
Okay,
One dimension.
This
One
was a
dimension.
joke pick. You gotta re-roll that.
What
No,
does
I
that
think-
even mean? What
I
is
think we
a
need
one
to.
dimension?
I think you need to be forced to do that.
What does it
One
mean?
No.
dimension is the game is only in one. It's only lines.
As in only one line.
Yo,
That is
that's
the
like
one
the
thing I did
worst
not
roll
wanna
I've
get.
seen.
Because you've got 2D, which is like two-dimensional, like it's on a flat plane.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Pong.
One-dimensional
Pong.
It's 1D.
Yeah,
Pong is still
Pong is
2D.
2D.
Because it's
Pong
moving
is
in a
2D.
It's
So
a
less
single
than
line.
Pong.
Yeah,
No,
I think we're gonna
re-roll
have to-
that. Re-roll
Okay,
that.
fine.
I want
I'll
a
re-roll.
mulligan.
I'll re-roll.
I think we can re-roll it. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. Okay.
What is
Okay, got it.
That
it.
is so
Okay.
Got
good,
it.
okay.
MySpace
Got it,
circa
okay.
2005 to
So it's
2008?
okay. The aesthetic you're going
Okay.
for is MySpace, but the game is 80s high school in America racing.
Oh my god, I have it. I
Okay.
have it.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
go,
Fine.
let's go
for it,
So
go
get
for
the
it,
timer
dude.
going. Get the
All
timer
right.
ready.
All right. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pitch to me.
Okay, so it's the 80s, but this is an alternate universe where MySpace actually kicked off in the 80s. So that's the aesthetic. Think about this.
Oh.
So
Okay.
the premise is, what if the 80s kids had social media? Now, the racing part isn't actually racing in the way you think of driving, but it's a race to get the most followers within a certain period of time.
Whoa. Okay.
4-player split screen, right? And
Uh-huh.
basically, you guys are all influencers or people that are trying to get views for
In the
your
80s.
band, whatever, right?
Uh-huh.
And you basically need to race within a time period to hit the finish line and hit a certain number of followers on MySpace. And that can carry out, it's set in a school, so you go out recording yourself doing certain stuff in high school that gets you the most followers in an 80s setting on, and then you post it on MySpace and you get scores and it racks up.
Uh-huh.
And it's split screen, of course.
Okay.
And that's kind of the game. And then
Okay.
whoever gets a certain point towards the end wins.
Very interesting concept. I like how you split that.
That was pure trash.
But I was gonna say that sounds like a game I'd find on the App Store that I would not download. I would be like,
No.
it
Okay,
have, like,
okay. The
2.5
idea is
stars.
think
and-
about it. Think about it this way. It's bully scholarship edition 4 players.
Oh my god, yo!
But with
like,
MySpace.
I love
Okay,
how
that
you
that
spun
kind
it,
of saves it. That kind of saves it.
but like that is like a shovelware for like the Android App Store.
Like I imagine what you know those games where you can choose your own story,
Yeah.
and they always advertise it, and it's like animated thing, and like you can fall in love with someone through this app, and you're playing like a.
That is not how the story was
That's-
going. It's a
that's
racing
totally-
game.
That is exactly how I imagine it.
Okay, that is not how I meant to.
I think I
pitch it.
love the idea and the setting, but as a game, it sounds so.
Mate, how
boring.
do you
You should have
implement
maintained
racing
the
into
cars.
it?
Why didn't you keep the cars in it? Think about all the sick cars in the 80s, bro. All you had to do was just like make the kids like emo or something.
Do you know what? To be fair, it was a tough role. Like even I
Yeah, it
wouldn't
was
know
a
how
tough
to do
role.
it, and
Okay,
I respect
I
it.
just want to. I'll tell you what. I will give Adeeb one more go
okay.
because I also want to make use of this amazing wheel. I will give Adeeb another go.
Do you want to have? Okay. Do you know what? Let's have.
You
a
know what,
complete
Izhar?
fresh
Why
roll.
don't you have a go? I'll stick with mine. I want Izhar to
Oh,
have
for
a go.
real?
Okay, fine.
Yes.
Fine.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck it. Alright,
Here's
go
what
on
we'll
then.
do.
He tried
What
to
I'm gonna
dodge
do-
responsibility, but I
Yeah.
think he's got to do it.
Yeah.
Alright, come on
fine.
then. Come on then.
Fine.
Let's
Right.
see it.
We're just gonna do one more roll. There's always the way it goes in games. We always say there's gonna be a judge,
Yeah.
and then the judge is not gonna play, but then it always ends up that they all play as well.
Okay. Let's go.
By the way, who
Because
won?
admittedly,
okay, who
I
wins the-
like Azan's idea
definitely-
already. Like,
Azan sounds like way more fun.
Yeah, the Glasgow Bender. I think it's just because a Glasgow Bender sounds very fun, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, let's take a look and see what happens with Izars then. Okay,
Alright,
so
go on.
let's share this screen again
Let's go for it.
and let's pick it out. Right, so here's your genres. I didn't remove racing. In fact, I'm gonna
That's fine.
get no because you're not allowed to use racing or simulator. It has to be something different.
Sure.
There you go.
Let's go for it.
Okay, let's see what happens.
All right, let's go for it. And it has to be like a much. That's like yes.
Okay,
Let's
come
go.
on.
Arcade is the first one.
Okay, fine, that's good.
arcade.
This is the setting now.
Arcade game. Okay.
I really want Pyongyang.
I want Pyongyang as well.
There's so many.
No
here.
way, we got Pyongyang.
Yes, it's set in Pyongyang. Yes, come on, arcade game in Pyongyang.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is gonna be amazing. If this is not good, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh,
Okay.
bro, but there's so much pressure now. for it to be
Aesthetic.
good.
Okay. This is the sort of aesthetic, the design, whatever you want to call it, however you want to put it.
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes.
Never gonna give you up music.
How is that an
video.
aesthetic? Azan, you need to explain how.
Okay, the aesthetic of the Never Gonna Give You Up music video, it's basically like 80s music videos, but whatever the fuck Never Gonna Give You Up music video was.
Yeah.
But it's just the aesthetic of that video.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
got it.
it's the way he's dancing, the way they're moving. You know, because their dancing is basically like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like, that's the aesthetic, you know, it's like shit, weird dancing, oversized clothes, you know, bad hair, that kind of thing, okay? So that's the aesthetic. It's set in Pyongyang, and it's an arcade game, so you've got a lot of scope there, but it's set in Pyongyang, okay? So
Oh my god. Okay. Oh,
that's what we're
okay.
looking for.
Okay.
Do you think you've got something? Think you've got some
Yes,
half-baked
but
idea?
I'm scared that you guys are gonna be like, you bottled this amazing role. Okay, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Right, fine. Your time begins now.
So we are in the arcade, right? And this is an arcade game set in North Korea's capital, Pyongyang. Okay, as you know, Kim Jong-un is the leader, and the Never Gonna Give You Up setting is, you know, the do, and he's like, goes like that. Do you know what? Screw licensing issues. That song is in the game. Okay, that's the game. Okay, but it's in Korean, right? So you know how like Rick Astley's like dancing and stuff. Instead, we have Kim Jong-un. He's dancing and performing, right? That is like the setting, Never Gonna Give You Up in Korean. Now, the game is a 2-player game where you have the defenders and the attackers. This is an assassination attempt during a Kim Jong-un concert, right? So it's like you have the stick and you have like all the things, and there's 2 players, right? And one person has to try and protect and defend Kim Jong-un on his side, and then you have the assassin's side that's trying to kill him, and it's a battle between the 2 people of trying to get through past all the defenses and assassinate him in the time of the song, before the song
10
ends.
seconds.
Right? So there's like a bunch of different classes and like tactics and like subterfuge and mind games that you could play to try get through and win or defend. And that is the game. Would you play that game?
You know what?
Would you play that game?
I would. You know what? I would absolutely. Yeah.
As an arcade game, sure.
I would, if that was a game in an arcade, I would play the shit out of that.
3.5 minutes per round, as that's how long the song
That's
is.
perfect. Yeah.
There you go.
Because the thing is, the song is a certain amount, and then each level, it just gets harder and harder, right? So like, there's more attackers, more defenders.
There we go.
That's great. Yeah. Brilliant. Okay.
There we go.
Well done.
You
Well
guys suck. Fuck you.
Okay. Great. Thanks. Okay. Adeeb, we failed.
Yeah.
The thing is, I just hate racing games. The second that screwed me.
Yeah.
You say that, Azan, I still love your idea. It's such a good idea. But the Bender in Glasgow is the reason you won.
Yeah. Exactly.
Versus me.
That's exactly.
I suck because I hate racing games, so I tried my best to not make it a racing game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, listeners, if you've listened into this section, drop us a comment, leave us an email. You can email us at ardogs, ARDOGS, collective@gmail.com. Drop us an email or drop us a message to let us know which game you enjoyed the most. Or drop a comment in the YouTube if you're watching on YouTube.
Message us on Discord.
Yeah. There you go.
All of our socials are in the link below, with the podcast or with the YouTube video, so you can check us out there, and definitely leave us some messages. We'd love to hear from you on which your favorite game was. But to wrap up our podcast, then, I think, given what we've just come up with, the brilliance that we've come up with, and we're not even developers, I would like to say that Splitscreen isn't dead. Well, Splitscreen might be dead, but local multiplayer isn't dead just yet.
There you go.
And that's our pod.
All right.
Where those stages to love.
Korean
rules.
words.
So
Don't
do I.
Korean barbecue.
Gonna nuke South Korea.
On tap. I love
Just
Kim
wanna nuke South
Jong-un.
Korea. and
Because
live
he's
in
my leader,
Pyongyang.
weighs 130 kg, but tries to act like he's 80. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Never
Don't
gonna Kim
kill-
you up. Never gonna Jong you down.
Never gonna turn around and
Korea.
woo! Da-da-da-da-da-da. Can we end this now?